Hello and welcome to our Boston video. This video is going to be a little bit different than usual. I have been to Boston before. Nick has never been to Boston. And so we have 3 days here. And so something that we did to kind of try and see as much as possible in the next 3 days is we decided to let ChatGPT come up with a list of things for us to do that are either free or really cheap in the Boston area, as well as some food recommendation spots. So instead of us planning everything and trying to see everything that we can see, we use ChatGPT. The biggest thing that we did was figure out how to get into the city. So as of right now, we're just outside the city. We are at Norwood Central Station for the train, the commuter trail. The commuter trail. What? The commuter train. And on the weekend, today is Saturday. And so on the weekend, you can pay $10 for basically unlimited rides on the commuter rail and buses and all of that stuff. You just pay the $10 on the app and it works. So that's what we're planning on doing today. So that was all us. So if you come to Boston in a van, especially van life, and you stay outside the city, plan on going in on the weekends. So that's our plan right now. And then today is going to consist of following a bunch of recommendations from ChatGPT. So we made it into Boston. It's downside. Really it's freezing today and it's raining, which are things that we like kind of knew, but we're like wandering around right now. And ChatGPT, all of the like free stuff is outside. So we're trying to decide what to do.
But it's really warm.
It's freezing. First stop, we wanted to grab some food. What are your thoughts, Nick? We got a vodka pasta.
It's pretty good. Guys, we made it to the Boston Public Market. They have an indoor and outdoor like farmers market.
Yeah, so outdoor is really cool, but it's only on the weekends. So that's where like all the like fresh food is being sold. So fresh fruits and veggies. Fresh
oysters and fish. I mean, they have fresh fish in here too.
Here, I'll show you what it looks like. So we're just wandering around the market still. And there's this
They just had a demonstration station
right over there where they were cooking up some meat, some pasta. Is it good?
It was really good.
Is it better than the pasta we just had?
It's a lot creamier. Do you like it?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Try the meat.
Oh, that meat's...
Wow, that's good.
That was a good meat. Guys, we found this like super cheap fudge area. It's only $5 for each of these squares. So we just got a Boston cream pie and we'll let you know how it is. But look at all the options. There's so many options to try.
All right, friends and family. This is it's probably backwards, but Boston cream fudge thingy. So we're gonna open it and eat some.
Also, there's like a video playing because we're in
a movie theater.
A movie area. All about the Underground Railroad, so.
It smells like a donut.
Oh my gosh, it does very much smell like a donut.
Wow.
Does it taste like a donut?
That's really
tastes like a donut.
What do you think?
I almost choked. That's pretty good.
Oh, also, so we went and got a cannoli and a little chocolate covered strawberry.
Cannoli was phenomenal because we're in Boston.
But the strawberry was fermented.
It was disgusting.
So we spat it out.
It was so gross. So this is one of the Holocaust memorials where you walk in and they have a list of all of the numbers of the people that passed away. And they also have all of these quotes. We're here in Faneuil Hall, is that correct?
Yes. Faneuil Hall.
And this is completely free. It's part of the National Park Service, and so you can come in. They have the Great Hall, which is this area that we're currently in, and they also have the area downstairs, which is a little market and a gift shop, and then on the basement floor they have a little room that you can go into, and they have a little video going on so you can understand a little bit more about slavery and the Underground Railroad. Super cool building. It's completely free if you're here in Boston. It's right in downtown. Next up on the list is walking around Beacon Hill. Beacon Hill is a very old school, traditional style building neighborhood. So they have tons of this like brownstone vibe, cute little cobblestones in some areas. Overall, it's just a really cute area.
Okay, the next spot that ChatGPT suggested for us is Boston Commons, which is this gorgeous, beautiful little park where we can see the State House with the gold little dome, a whole bunch of different statues and fountains over here. A lot of different things that we can go and see. It's raining a little bit, so it might not be the most ideal thing to do, but we're gonna check it out anyway, because why not? Okay, so we're here at the Public Gardens. It's basically like Boston version of Central Park. They just have this really cute waterway lake thing, and there's somebody playing some live music. The rain lightened up, which is really good. So anyways, it's really nice.
Next up from ChatGPT was to visit the Trinity Church. So here we are. It did cost some money to go into. That was probably our biggest downside. We visited a lot of churches in Italy and throughout the US, and this was one of the only ones we've ever had to pay to wander around. It did have some beautiful stained glass, and it was really cool to wander, but I don't know if we would necessarily go back to it. If you like churches, this is great. Two more things that are relatively very cheap and or free that are right next to each other and just a short walk from Boston Common and the public garden is the Boston Public Library, completely free, and there's also Trinity Church, very iconic, very important. That one, it does cost, and they do self-guided and guided tours, and it costs about $10 a person. So if you want to do something that's relatively cheap right next to each other, that's an option. The Boston Public Library ended up becoming one of my favorite things in Boston. I can't believe I didn't come here the last time I was here, but it was beautiful. The architecture was incredible. The paintings were amazing. Overall, it is a must-see when you go to Boston. Day number 2 in Boston. Yesterday we tried to do a bunch of free things, which you saw, and today we're going to do a few things that cost a little bit more money. So we are doing a trolley tour today. It's going to be hop on and off. We walked a lot of the Freedom Trail yesterday, even though we didn't like showcase that. We did walk a lot of it. And today we're going to go to different stops along the way and hear some stories about it, and some history, all that kind of stuff.
Also, fit check. We look so good today.
We're also going to try, so yesterday we went to a cannoli place or a bakery that's like the next street over from the two like really famous one, Mike's and Modern.
Because we didn't have any cash.
Yes.
So this place took card. So today we brought cash. We're gonna go finally put to rest the battle between Modern and Mike's Bakery to see which cannolis are the best in Boston. We're here at Modern Pastry, and you can build your own cannoli.
Okay, so we got Modern Pastry super quick. It was so fast, there was like barely even a line. We're now over here at Mike's Pastry so that we can compare and contrast
And the line
the cannolis.
is crazy.
Yeah, it's super long. Okay, so we got the Modern Pastry, which we already said, and then we also got Mike's Pastry. I'm pretty sure the cannoli is bigger at Mike's Pastry, which is kind of exciting.
They're gigantic.
They're massive.
Like, that big. They're
so
huge.
we're excited to show you guys. and that was freaking crazy. At like Modern Pastry, they have it like pretty seamless, and it's like pretty nice to like get in. There's not a massive line.
Yeah, so this is outside of Modern Pastry.
Yeah,
There's
so
literally no
nothing.
one. But yeah, Mike's was crazy.
Insane. So,
but we got both of them, so now we're excited to
Now we're
try
excited to see which one's better.
the difference of them.
Okay, this one's Mike's.
It's really big.
How does it compare to yesterday's?
I think it's about the same. I don't know if either one is like better or worse. Now you try this one. It's so yummy though.
I think I'm gonna like the other one.
You think so?
Oh, really good still.
I personally really like the powdered sugar on it. Okay, next up is Modern Pastry.
This one's slightly smaller, a little bit more yellow.
Is it better?
That one's my favorite. Yeah.
And let's just take our bags up, and then you wait for the bags and I'll come and get the rest of the stuff, okay?
What do you think?
I think I like the cream on this one. I think I like the cannoli on this one.
So the shell you like better on the other one.
I don't love like crazy crunchy cannoli. So this one has a lot, it's a lot softer.
But the
It's
cream.
almost like a waffle cone.
But this one,
is, like,
I
a
feel
little
like the
thicker, but
shell,
cream is way better.
the shell is a little bit sweeter on this one as well.
That's probably true. Either way, I don't think you're going to be disappointed from either place. So yeah, for me, I feel like it's pretty evenly matched. Okay, so we just got some sandwiches that are gigantic from this cute little Italian spot. It's like in a little Italian deli. It's like really cool.
Oh, yeah, that's mine. It's prosciutto, fresh mozzarella. Nick got the
Basil
meatball.
pesto. Wow, that's really good. That's really, really good. Like,
It's probably super hot, huh?
just good about it. The meatball just like melts. It's so
Okay, if you come to Boston, this is the spot. It's like in this little alley, super random, super fun. Nick got the meatball and it was phenomenal. I got the
it's a little messy, but
I got the Italian sandwich. 10 out of 10. Phenomenal. They're also massive. They're massive, so
do not order two.
do not order
Unless you're
two.
really, really hungry.
Yeah,
Because it's like an entire baguette. Like
Yeah.
each sandwich is like a baguette.
it's huge. Okay, so we've been on our like hop on and off tour for the last 4 stops. It's been kind of fun to hear them just like give us some like knowledge and some new things to hear and think about while in Boston. And we just got off, and Nick's gonna tell you a little bit more.
I'm not really sure what I'm going to tell you, but
Where did we get off at, Nick?
oh, we
Why
got
are
off
here?
at the the Constitution Museum. So the USS Constitution, for some reason I didn't realize, but it's a boat. And then they have the USS Constitution Museum right there, which this little red line here is the Freedom Trail, and this is the last stop on the Freedom Trail that we're gonna go explore right now. I'm not really sure what to expect, but our driver said it was friggin' awesome, so we're gonna go check it out.
All right, so this is the USS Constitution. We decided to come over here pretty quickly instead of going to like the museum over there. We walked into the visitor center, and then we were like, let's be quick so that we can go explore this thing. Also, 100% free. I don't know what to say. We're just finding all the free stuff to do in Boston.
Free stuff is so much better than paid for stuff.
How you feeling?
So good. This is crazy. Guys, this is where the Black Pearl came from.
We're basically in Pirates of the Caribbean right now. And apparently in this section, this is called the head. And if you've ever heard of that, people always say, I'm gonna hit the head. It means bathroom.
Oh, is that what it means? It's because the seamen would do their business. They would ease themselves into the sea.
They would poop.
They'd poop.
And then there was a board that they would pull out and it would just plop into the ocean.
Sanitary.
So you can go downstairs. This is what we just came down. So that's where we were. And we stepped into this. This is crazy. So there's just like cannons lined up all down the whole ship. This is so cool.
Guys, I just read this thing that when they would have a death on the ship, they would sew him into his hammock and the last stitch would go through his nose to be a last test for life, and they would sew him with a cannonball again and they don't work.
So I came down another one. Oh look, here's Nick coming down the stairs. Also, it's gonna be really short for him, so I don't know if he'll be able to stand normal. But right over here, this is the sick bay. And it goes back pretty far. And then it also goes that way, which is pretty crazy. This is the like dining room for those that were lieutenants, first officers. And then they had their own rooms, so you can kind of see their rooms in here. So this is if they had higher rank, they had, you can kind of see, let me focus on that. Yeah, so that's the cabin of the 4th lieutenant. So if you had a higher rank, you got your own room with a little hammock that you could have. That's how you slept. And then you could come out here and eat. The top of your head. You can barely stand. And this is the captain's cabin. It's freaking massive, especially compared to everything else that we've seen. That's crazy. All right, so we're just wandering around. That's where we were just at. And they have a dry dock right here and also a battleship, so that's pretty cool. But look at this dry dock. It's pretty cool. Here's the USS Constitution Museum, so we get to learn a little bit more. This is what it looks like with all of the sails up. 43 different sails. This is a cool museum.
Really cool museum. So we just made it out of the SSS Constitution Museum.
Yes, it's over there.
Just to USS Constitution Museum. Probably, in my opinion, I think it was one of the coolest museums we've been to. I think there was a lot of different stuff that you can look at.
It's also very interactive.
You, yeah, it's crazy interactive.
Really fun for me.
They have like a little Lego spot with like a model of the USS Constitution.
There was
they have
this
a
one
ton of
area
different...
that like you could put in different types of wood, and then you would fire at it, so you could see like what type of wood would be the best to like build a ship.
They had this little thing where you could basically, like a little video game where you could build your own ship, like a big one or a small one. You can see how it maneuvers and see how it fires, and they could have, you could like battle with other ships, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I think this museum was really cool because it was really interactive. It was also really informative, which is cool. It taught, they had a video, it was probably like 5 minutes long or something, and it just went over the history of the USS Constitution, why it was so important. So it was cool to be able to like understand all that stuff and know that like we walked on it, like yeah, we were there, which was pretty cool. So
also something else to keep in mind is it is a pay what you want, so it's basically donation. So you can pay as much or as little as you want and they'll let you go in. So if you don't have money and you want to do some free things but you still want to explore, this is a great spot. Or if you feel bad for not paying, you can always just go to the USS Constitution. You can walk on it, you can like explore it, and it was completely free.
But yeah, the museum, their recommended donation is like 10 to 15 bucks. So I mean, it's really not that expensive, but if you're not prepared for that, could be a little bit annoying. So yeah, we just threw in like $1 when we went in, and it was really cool. Like really, really liked it. It was really awesome. Any last thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I just really liked it overall. That's all.
Today's been really good. We've really enjoyed our day.
I was in a
Boston.
very bad mood, so.
Yeah, yesterday was different.
But today's been so fun.
Today's been way better, so we love it. Okay, we just got off the trolley and we're now going to go to the Boston Tea Party and Ships Museum, which is right there, that little red building. We are very excited. That's one of the other things that ChatGPT encouraged us to do, and so we figured we're just gonna do it today. So with ChatGPT, we did basically all the free stuff yesterday. Today's more of the like expensive stuff. And tomorrow's gonna be kind of a combination of anything else that we want to do. Basically the leftovers of stuff that we didn't do.
That's kind of fun.
So anyways, I wanted to come and look at this because this is the only thing that I like knew about Boston was they had cannolis and the Boston Tea Party. So this is gonna be really cool to come and check out and get a feel for basically what everybody talks about, like what sparked the revolution. So this would be cool.
One can grant a pass to allow these vessels to return to England without landing their pernicious cargoes. Mr. Roach left several hours ago. We await his return and cling to the hope that the governor will listen to reason. For if that cargo is landed, it is you, the citizens of Boston, who will be forced to pay this unjust tax on debt. As we all know, this is not the first time Parliament has set forth taxes upon us without our consent. It was only 8 short years ago, in 1765, Lord Grenville saw fit to tax our letters, our newspapers, all of our printed documents, under the stamp.
Into the sea!
I'm going to ask you 3 questions to make sure we are all here for a united cause and didn't just get swept up in the chaos of the night. So if you are here to destroy the tea, say aye.
Aye!
Alrighty, now 1, 2, 3.
Huzzah!
Good work.
We did it.
Aye.
Aye!
If you're here to be captured and arrested for treason, say aye.
Aye.
Oh. That was rather tricky of me.
So we just finished
The tour
in the little museum thing. 10 out of 10.
I loved it.
It was so cool.
Fun. So you can see like right out here, this is the like boat that we were, or the ship that we were on. So that's where we like tossed the tea into the harbor, and it was just so fun. They like definitely make it feel like you're back in the time that all of this happened, which is so fun. We're in the tea room right now. I don't really like tea, so we got a hot chocolate.
So here, those 5 little things are some of the teas that would have been on board that they threw over into the harbor. So you can taste the teas that they would have had on the boat in the harbor. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of cool to see because the last thing they show you is a video that kind of like shows how the Boston Tea Party really was a catalyst for the revolution, because it starts talking about the Tea Party and then the moving into the Battle of Lexington with the shot that was heard around the world. So it was pretty cool to see the correlation. I don't think I really understood like how big of a deal it is or was. So it was really cool.
Especially because they're like a year and a half apart, and so you're like, oh yeah, that one thing, and then like having them talk about it, and yeah, it was super interesting.
So we really liked it. So
I like am so glad we did this. I feel like this is totally worth the money. If you're coming to Boston and you want to spend money on something, I would spend money on this.
Totally.
Basically everything else we've done.
So yeah, it's like $34 a person, so keep that in mind for a tour, but it's
if you
so
do a
cool.
trolley tour, you get a discount. So we did a trolley tour, and so we got like $6 off each of our tickets. So $60 for both of us to come.
So just keep that in mind. It is a little bit of
depending on
just some money.
If you're not prepped for it, it's a little bit more, but it was so fun. So fun. So we made it to the Paul Revere house. It's right here. We're soaking wet. We're gonna get another cannoli. We're taking the train.
The Paul Revere house is the oldest wood house in Boston.
Everything else has to be made of brick and mortar. Anyways, it's still raining. I don't know if you can tell. So we're literally, our plan is to just get on the metro right after this. We've just been walking around everywhere, but instead we're gonna get on the metro, head to South Station, which is where we were just at. We walked all the way over here. Our train doesn't leave for another like hour and a half. So we're just gonna hang out in South Station for a while because it is raining. What we got?
Okay, so we went back to modern pastry and we got a cannoli. This time we're trying it chocolate dipped because I thought it would be fun. And we got a red velvet cupcake because it looked delicious.
It's also massive. Look at that. It's huge. It's almost as big as the ones from Costco.
So we were very excited. The line there was crazy this next time.
But it was nice because we were so wet that we got to dry off a little bit.
All right, babe, what are we doing?
We're at a tower.
With our friend Linnea.
She brought us here. We're at a cemetery. I know that sounds really weird, but look at this view really fast. And we're climbing the tower so we can see that view even better.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna get out of breath right now.
You made it!
We did it. Oh my god. Wow, what a view! This was our last day in Boston, and Linnea took us to a bunch of places. The spot that we stayed at most of the day was the cemetery, and our favorite spot in the cemetery was obviously this, where we got to see just about everything. This is in the Cambridge area, and so you can see the whole Boston skyline. So the rest of this video is just us spending a few minutes with Linnea before getting ready to leave. Guys, look at this blue jay. It was just like Nick walked right by him.
He slashed my leg, now I'm bleeding.
Whatever. Hi, buddy. Oh, he's so beautiful. One of the most random things in this cemetery was this castle-looking chapel, and look at the Sphinx. Crazy.
Lights, because all the lights you have to like go up to exit at the lights, and so like on the left we have MIT. Oh, shit. I'm so sorry. I was not paying attention.
It's kind of exciting.
Beautiful view of the city.
Wow, that's really cool.
Boston recap, really fast.
Boston was super cool. The only thing I knew about Boston before going was the cannolis were pretty awesome, and it's known for the Boston Tea Party, and we got to experience both of those things. So it was super dope to be able to, yeah, just do both of those things. I really liked throwing the tea over because you literally got to stand what felt like in history and do that where the people did it.
Yeah. In terms of cannolis, my favorite spot was Modern Pastry.
Also, Modern Pastry.
So, Modern Pastry wins. Haha, suck it, Mikes. I'm just kidding. My my three favorite things that we did was the cemetery with Linnea. One, because it's Linnea and I love her so much. I met her when I was living in Arizona. And it's been a while. So it was so fun to catch up with her, and her taking us to the cemetery was amazing. There was a lot of like really unique stuff there that you guys didn't really get to see. We tried to really be like in the moment, so we didn't do it as much. What was one of your top three?
One of my top three was probably the USS Constitution. I thought it was really cool. I've never been on a tall ship before. So that was, I don't know, just really cool. I felt like I was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
My number two would be the Boston Tea Party. I have been to Boston, like that was my second time in Boston, and the first time I went was during COVID, and so I didn't get to do that, and it was awesome. Like, hands down, incredible. Would do again.
Yeah, I would have to second that. In addition to that, one of my favorite things was the trolley tour that we took, because it kind of like showed us a lot of different things throughout the city that I don't think we would have done otherwise. I think we saw quite a few different things, but the trolley tour just made it really accessible and really informative.
And we could hop on and off, which was nice. Okay, and my third one, also we like agree with each other on basically all of these, so whatever he said I also agree with, but my third one would be the Boston Public Library. I felt like that was like a sleeper pick. It is cool. So beautiful. I ended up doing like a couple work meetings from there, and I loved it. Loved it.
I feel like we say this about every city, but Boston was genuinely one of the coolest cities I think we've been to. We've been really pleased with cities on the East Coast, which has been really awesome, because there's so much history and there's so much architecture, and it's just so different from what I think both of us have experienced. So
overall, loved Boston. Highly recommend visiting. And if you're in a van, any tips to visit if you're in a van?
Park outside the city. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Take the train in.
There's a ton of like commuter rails. The only downside with taking commuter rails versus like trying to get closer into the city and taking a metro is
timed entry.
There's just a lot less of them, so typically, especially on the weekends, like a train only happens like once an hour or once every 2 hours. So something to keep in mind. But overall, we loved it. Thanks for watching.